Good Erev Shabbos, everybody. This week's Parsha is out of Emor. We have the mitzvahs in regard to the Kohanim, as far as their sanctity is concerned. And we also have the mitzvahs in regard to which animals are suitable to be used as an offering. For example, if an animal has a blemish, whether it be permanent or whether it be temporary, if an animal is not of the proper time, then these animals, the Torah delineates, are not acceptable for being offered. And then the Torah tells us, Shor I kesev le'ez ki yivole, an ox or a sheep or a goat, when they are born, 7 days it should be with its mother, and then from the 8th day it is suitable to be brought as an offering. Prior to that, the animal is not acceptable. And in the Talmud, it notices that it says an ox when it's born. And it says from here we see that from the moment that the ox is brought into this world, it already has the name and the title of ox. We don't call it something else. It's already an ox. And of course, the question is, what is this relevant? And the answer is that it could be relevant for monetary exchanges. If somebody said, I'll sell you something, but you have to throw in an ox in the deal. So if he throws in an ox that's a day old, that's acceptable. But why would the Torah be telling us this particular law? There's so many laws in regard to transactions and monetary issues. What's the purpose of telling us that an ox, that the day it's born, it's already an ox, and it has relevance in transactions? That seems to be very strange. After the Torah completes its discussion about what makes an animal disqualified as an offering, if it's physically blemished, it's disqualified. If it's not the proper time, then all of a sudden the Torah digresses from the topic and says, if a person should bring a thanksgiving offering unto God, they bring a sacrifice. So the law is that this sacrifice can be consumed, the parts that are consumed, only that day, not the following day. And it tells us that the Kohen who is performing the service, throughout the entire service, he must have in mind that this animal is a thanksgiving offering which can be consumed only that day. Should he have an incorrect thought and think this animal, it can be consumed for a day and a half, 2 days or whatever, then the animal is disqualified. And that's called pigul. So the question is, what is this doing here? This Parsha is talking about the laws of a Kohen, the sanctity of a Kohen, and then it talks about the laws of an animal. Which animal is appropriate and suitable to be an offering? We're talking about physical elements of the animal. It has a blemish, it's got a broken bone, or whatever it might be. Or the animal is very old, or the animal is sickly, or it's emaciated, or if the animal that hasn't reached the proper time of the 8th day. We're talking about the animal, and then all of a sudden the Torah digresses and tells us about that an offering can be disqualified if the Kohen has the wrong thought. That's a problem, not because of the essential characteristics of the animal, but rather of the Kohen. What's that doing here? In addition, this law of pigul, disqualifying the offering because the Kohen had the wrong thought, was already mentioned in Parshas Tzav. Why is it repeated? And another problem is that if the Torah wants to discuss the law of pigul, disqualification based on an incorrect, inappropriate thought of the Kohen, why does it discuss specifically a thanksgiving offering? It could have said any offering, could have said a sin offering, could have said a burnt offering, but the Torah specifies a thanksgiving offering. There must be a reason for this. The Bnei Yissaschar tells us a very important point. When the Talmud says that an ox, on the day that it is born, it's already called an ox. It's telling us something very profound. And that is, what is the function, the purpose of an ox? Its function is its physical capacity, the ability for it to serve, to work, to be used as meat or whatever. And from the moment it's born, it has already achieved its purpose. Oh, without doubt, the animal has to have time to grow and become stronger. But if somebody wanted to use that animal on day 1 or day 2 for whatever, he could already start to use it. The purpose of an animal is to serve man, serving man. All of its qualities are here. It's just a question of the qualities expanding, becoming bigger and stronger. But it's already an ox. But what about man? This part of the Torah is coming to contrast animals and the animal kingdom and man. Whereas science will say that man is part of the animal kingdom, as we have mentioned numerous times, the Torah tells us that that is an absolute fallacy. Man is not just the highest form of the animal kingdom. We are a different creation. Man is the crown jewel of creation. Everything that God created in his universe is for man, but not for man to satisfy his passions, but for mankind to satisfy and fulfill his purpose and his mission. What is the mission of man? To be a physical servant? An animal physically serves. Is that the purpose of man? Yes, we have to do work, sometimes physical labor. That's not why man was created. Man was created because man has something else. And that is, man has a creative mind. Man has the ability to think. So what? There are animals that think also. They can communicate. What does it mean? That man was just created to be able to gain knowledge? No, that's not the purpose of man. There have been many human beings who gained incredible knowledge. They were great scientists and great doctors. And yet they served a regime that brought about the greatest cruelties known to man throughout history, the Holocaust. Doctors performing horrific surgeries on innocent human beings, coming up with methods of destruction. They certainly were well educated, but they were not fulfilling, nor did they bear the title of what it means to be a mensch, a human being. A human being is not just to have mental capacity, but to use it appropriately. And what is that appropriate use? What exactly is the purpose for existing a human being to become an ish? When he's born, he's a baby. Now he's an ish. What is this title of ish? It means the ability to recognize that we have a creator and to realize his benevolence and his boundless love, and to express our gratitude and love unto our creator. And that's what this Parsha is telling us. An animal, the moment it's born, it's an ox, it's a sheep, it's a goat. It is what it is. And it might get stronger and expand in its present category, but that's it. But not a human being. For a human being can bring an offering, not just any offering, a thanksgiving offering. Thanksgiving offering is a donation. We're not compelled to bring it. It's something that a human being brings because we realize God has been so kind. He helped me. He cured me. He enabled me to escape from potential trouble. He's been with me at my side throughout my whole life. He's guided me in the proper path for his name's sake. And man has the ability to achieve his goal for which he was created, his mission, recognize my creator and express my gratitude. And therefore, that's why the Torah says and brings this in, that should man bring an offering of a thanksgiving offering, be aware that man is fulfilling his purpose, and the Kohen, his thoughts must be properly disciplined. He shouldn't have a thought of perhaps eating, consuming the animal beyond its proper designated time, because man is the thinking creature, the thinking element that can not just put two and two together, but man can perceive the existence of the divine and shape and fashion our lives based on that knowledge. That's what man is. And that's what the Torah is presenting here, contrasting the animal unto the crown jewel of creation, the purpose for which God created the universe, which is enable man to see Ki li'olam chasdai. God's love is boundless. All that he does is for man, and that we should recognize this and express our gratitude. That's why this is presented here. That's why it's not a repetition. You want to know the laws of Pigel? That's in Parshas Sav. Do we want to see the existent mission of man? That's right here in Parshas Emor. And that's why it speaks about specifically the thanksgiving offering. Where else can we find an expression of man fulfilling his mission than bringing an animal as an offering unto God as an expression of gratitude? This is the human potential, and this is why we were created. That's why we daven every day. That's why we say brachas every day, so that we should be able to recognize God's kindness and express our gratitude. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay Jewish. Have a wonderful Shabbos.